done this for so long, it feels weird. Yeah, it's What's going on, guys? It's Jacob, Sunday Lifters. Welcome back to the channel, and Happy New Year as well. It's my first video of 2023, and whether you're new to the channel or you're returning, I just hope you have a good year, really. This video today, we are going to be talking about 17 alpha estradiol. A lot of you are probably familiar with estradiol, or at least estrogen. Probably know it's a sex hormone. Unfortunately though, this video and the data I've sort of pulled, the study we're going to be going over, is targeted at men. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things in science, guys, and biology, that there are dichotomies between male and female within mammals. It's mainly due to sex hormones. This is one of the reasons why women live longer than men in the human species, and a lot of other species for that matter. But if you are a man, exciting news is 17 alpha estradiol used in a clinical setting on rodents did show a 19% lifespan increase in the male cohorts of that study. And if we are anything like our male rodent counterparts, which I'm sure if you ask some women, they will say some men are a lot like rats, and I'd be inclined to agree as a man who's met men who are like rats. But on a serious note though, guys, usually when something is promising in rodents, it's not 100% definite that it's going to work in humans, but it's usually a pretty good indicator. So before we get into the real detail of this video, guys, as always, if you could just drop it a like, a comment, and consider subscribing as well. It does really help the channel grow, and it is hugely appreciated. So like we said at the start, 17 alpha estradiol, or alpha tradiol, I believe is another term for it. It is a subset of the steroidal sex hormone that we naturally produce, endogenously produce in our bodies, estradiol. So alpha tradiol actually only differs molecularly by one carbon atom from estradiol, and that is the 17th carbon atom in its makeup, hence why it's called 17 alpha estradiol. We also know it is a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. It's used in practical medicine right now and has been shown in studies to be an antagonist when it binds to the 5-AR receptors available in our bodies, mostly found in the scalp, and for men in the prostate as well. So it does have a lot of sort of clinical application as it stands. Those who have been brave enough to sit through some of my older videos that are 20 minutes long probably are pretty clued up on what 5-alpha reductase inhibitors do at this point. If you're not, you can check out the video, I'll link it up above for you. We will touch a bit more on that later, but it's not what I've sort of made this video for. It's more about the sort of longevity potential of 17 alpha estradiol. And the most important thing that I'm sure a lot of men are wondering is 17 alpha estradiol, alpha tradiol, is a non-feminizing estrogen, and what that means is you can safely take it and have higher blood serum levels as a man and not have to worry about the development of gynecomastia or other related issues to sort of high levels of estradiol or estrogen circulating in the blood. So the most exciting news, and like I say, sadly only for dudes, is from this study here, which we'll go into right now. So 17 alpha estradiol treatment in male and female rodents saw a sex-specific longevity effect, an increase of about 19% in medium lifespan for the male rodents. Sadly, the same effect was not seen in the female rodents. So in the males, they saw an increase of certain amino acids available to the liver. This increased quite a lot, and also there was an increase in the metabolites. They're actually responsible for cycling urea. Some of you might know about uric acid and some of its effects. I'm not going to go into that right now, but it would be a good thing to have more metabolites deal with that. Again, when they sort of checked this in the female rodents, sadly there was no increase in these amino acids or the sort of metabolites responsible for the urea cycling. So to figure out why there's this big dichotomy between how the males and females metabolize the 17 alpha estradiol, the scientists decided to overrectomize and castrate the females and males respectively in the study. And what they found was really interesting, that when the males were castrated, they no longer got that same sort of benefit of 19% increase to their median lifespan. There was no or very little longevity benefit to the males, and that suggests that actually it's something to do with the sex hormones produced by the male sex organs or testes that actually allows the men to get this benefit from the alpha tradiol. So that data there is really promising. Obviously, yes, it's only in rodents at the minute, but we always say that if something works in a mammal like a rodent, it's usually a very promising sign to work up to human data. Obviously, we do need some human data on this to sort of know for definite if it would have the same effect in humans. Even if it had a fractional effect of the 19% we saw in the male rodents, let's say it was 10% for male humans, that would be a huge discovery at this point, and there would be some serious clinical efficacy for the sort of like exogenous use of 17-alpha estradiol potentially. And in regard to alpha tradiol's potential as a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, we have this study here that showed they took a subset of males and actually started giving them sort of a topical lotion that they could use that had 17-alpha estradiol inside of it, and some of the results they saw was actually very promising, and they concluded at the end of that study that there is some efficacy in the use of 17-alpha estradiol as a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor if used in a lotion and for long periods of time. It's probably safe to assume though, guys, that it's not as good as finasteride or dutasteride, or things like teaming those two medications up with minoxidil or microneedling. To be honest, we've already got everything we need in terms of battling male androgenic alopecia anyway. You can never have too much depending on how bad your hair loss is. Obviously if you've not got bad hair genetics, you want to be using as little medication as you can to try and prevent hair loss. If it's more severe, totally understand, you might want to try everything. So as it stands, 17-alpha estradiol is very hard to get hold of. It's still a hormone at the end of the day. So I'm not saying that it shouldn't look, but it is very hard to get hold of. Perhaps in the future this will have some real potential in sort of hormone replacement therapy as a sort of monotherapy. We will see, but unfortunately until we get some human data, we just can't really say for sure whether the risks outweigh the rewards, though on the face of it, in the rodent data that we've got, it does look promising. So that's all we've got time for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, it's hugely appreciated. If you haven't already, drop the video a like, leave a comment whether you agree, disagree. If you've got sort of any anecdotal takes on 17-alpha estradiol or anything along these lines, please let me know. I do find it interesting. If you want, you can follow me on all my socials. It's at SundayLifters on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, and you can email me at sundaylifters@gmail.com for online coaching and also workout plans. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you back here again very soon.